Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and otherwise. I'm Lamar Haven. Welcome back to 999, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. As we last left our heroes, we were on our way through the third ending, or a third ending, I should say. But when we get into the game and find out exactly where we were in a more specific manner. Right. This is when we managed to solve one of the puzzles and we were on our way to try and open the door. We're here with Clover and Seven, I believe. 99, now with 100% less mass murder, hopefully. It's the theory anyway. Hello, Kirby. You think we should head back? Yeah, I think that's probably the best. Clover nodded and left. Junpei was about to follow her when he realized that Seven wasn't following suit. Hey, Seven, what's up? Oh, well... He looked up at Junpei distractedly and then backed down at the brown bottle he held cupped in his large hands. What's that? In response, Seven tossed the bottle gently to Junpei. He caught it and twisted it around to read the label. Ethylene diamine tartrate. EDT. It's tartaric ethylnediamine. What kind of medicine is that? It's not medicine. I think it's an industrial strength detergent. Why would they have something like that here? Well, it'll probably clean stuff up. Clean what up? Fuck if I know. Still, looks like it's cleaned my brain up. Junpei looked up from the bottle. You remember something? Seven nodded slowly and spoke. Well, I remember a story about EDT. It happened about 50 years ago. There was this factory somewhere in America making big ol' EDT crystals. They were making it to sell as industrial strength cleaner, like I told you before. But a year after the factory started up, something strange started happening with the crystals they were building. Water molecules started attaching themselves to EDT crystals. Made them sort of a mutation of the original crystals called a hydrate. Once the crystals turned into a hydrate, though, it's useless as a cleaner. The factory had to just dump the crystals as a hydrate. They were useless. But it didn't end there. After that day, the same thing started happening to EDT factories everywhere. Okay, so this is basically a really similar story to the one we heard before about the crystallization of this molecule. Which actually brings me to one of the theories I wanted to discuss about this game. One of the things that I talked about in the previous stream was whether or not I wanted folks to tell me whether I needed all the endings or not. I ended up deciding I didn't want folks to tell me and I wanted to figure out myself. Over the weekend I thought about it some more and I realized it's pretty obvious why you're probably going to need all of the endings. And that has to do with the telepathic mechanism hypothesis and the other theories like that they keep introducing in this game. The idea was, one of the main ideas that is introduced that influenced my thinking is that when they talked about the pictures with like the dog and the woman, and how they were like, well, once enough people figured out the answer, they sort of telepathically gave everybody else the answer kind of thing. I'm guessing that's what they mean by the memories continuing and in this game. So every time we get an ending, Junpei is going to be transferring those memories to the Junpei that actually survives and solves everything. So he's going to sort of divine some information from previous endings and is going to use them at some point. That's my assumption as to what's going to happen. I have a few other theories that I refined a bit over the weekend, but we'll talk about them as things go on. But I'm pretty sure that's how the ending thing is going to work, so that means we've got to go for all the endings. They'd been making crystals the same way, with their same materials and the same equipment and environment, when all of a sudden every single crystal turned into a hydrate. In fact, ever since that day, no factory anywhere has been able to make pure EDT crystals. Even in EDT research done years before, they'd never gotten hydrate. But after it happened in the first factory, it just spread. It was like, man, how do you say it? You mean like it was infected with a virus or something? Well, yeah, meta nod to the player as well, but I mean that in the environment of the story itself, I'm guessing that's how they're going to justify it. Seven shook his head. No, not like that. It spread like wildfire. It showed up in labs that were completely isolated from the rest of the world. It even started happening to crystals that were completely sealed up. It doesn't seem like it could have been a result of stuff coming in contact with other samples. Then, well, I guess it's some sort of information. Like the crystals were transmitting this information all across the world somehow. What information? How to make new crystal. Someone had to tell the stuff how to do it, right? No, there's some sort of environmental effect or something. I hate this! Yeah, but I don't think that's the route they're going, Kirby. Like it just whispered to the EDT in the tank. Hey, if you do this, you can take in water molecules. Come on, man, that's just... I mean, who's this someone anyway? Someone you can't see. Someone who exists all over the world. You mean like a god? Or maybe the devil? Seven grinned. As Junpei was trying to figure out what on earth he was going to say next, Clover's shrill voice pierced the room. Hey! What are you two doing over there? Stop wasting time and get over here! Okay, we're coming. Jeez! Seven looked at Junpei. Yeah, so anyway, that's the story. Might be useful someday. Don't forget it. See, here's the thing. They're introducing it in multiple endings. That could be one of two reasons. They're introducing similar concepts in multiple endings. And completely different paths. Ooh. That's not a thing I meant to do. Don't do that, game. One, they're doing it because they want this information is important for the whatever ending you're on, which isn't true. We know that because we've done multiple endings, and in multiple endings, some of these theories just never pan out or never have a purpose. Two, because repeated information in multiple lifetimes can somehow trigger this event that lets the memories continue on to a different person or a different timeline, I suppose. So, yeah, there's got to be a purpose for it. That cryptic remark, he returned and left the room. Junpei was left behind to ponder what he just heard. Information being transmitted invisibly. Could such a thing really happen? Well, thinking about that crap isn't going to help me right now. We need to figure out how to get the hell out of here first. Took a deep breath, tried to clear his mind, and followed after Seven. Alright, so what do we end up doing? We've got lots of fake limbs and a fake heart. Do we have all of them? By the looks of it, we do. So let's go to one of the bodies. To that body. You. Open sesame. An old hard bed. Okay, so we've collected the 6 parts of the medical mannequin. So the ones we've got must be for Lucy, right? Yeah. Seems like it. Well, I say we give Lucy her parts back. Any objections? No. Agreed. Alright, let's get started. Combine! Cute. Uh-oh. Oh, there's a number on here. 51 kilograms. What's this? This the weight? Well, we were just stacking body parts on it, so it makes sense it'd be the weight. That's not the right weight, though, is it? Hey, nothing happened. That's odd. Maybe it's the wrong weight. Wait. Yeah, well, you know, there's a scale on the side of the bed. Maybe we need to get the scale to a specific number. How are we gonna do that? I think we're supposed to swap her body parts with John's. Oh. Let's give it a shot. Operating instructions. The screen below displays 2 medical mannequins. You can switch their body parts by touching the part you want to switch out and then the part you want to switch in. Okie doke. Well, I'll switch the screen so you guys can see what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm supposed to get the number to, though. Swap chess? No. I don't want to just randomly do this, so hold on. Back. Let's look at the numbers. No dice. I think if we knew the weight of each part, we could figure it out. File! The medical record. Okie doke. 53.2 is what I'm aiming for on Lucy. 51.3 on him. Let's write that down. 53.2 and 51.3. Gotcha. I won't write the rest down. The rest can be done through trial and error. So I need to be heavier on this side. 53.2, so I'm super close. Really? It switched everything but the heart? That's it? Hey, Junpei, I just heard something. It came from John's operating table. We better check it out. It's an old operating table, yada yada. Let me look at this. Huh? The lid is on the scale. On the scale. Hey, it opened! Oh, I get it. It must have opened because we matched John's weight to what was on the chart. Jupiter key. It's the marking. There's marking engraved on the key. I think it's the Jupiter symbol. That might be our way out. The entrance to the operating room. It isn't locked, but there's no reason to go back. Being back there is our door. Right, that's not the door we want to go in. Hey, hold on. Junpei stopped, about to put the key in the doorknob. What's up? Where's Clover? Huh? Junpei turned around. Clover was nowhere to be seen. God damn it, where the hell did she go? Okay, hold on a minute, I'll go get her. Sure thing. Junpei left Seven at the door and headed back to the operating room. He found her, standing next to the operating table. She was staring at the mannequin. Hey, Clover, what's wrong? Come on, let's get out of here. She didn't respond. If she hadn't been standing up and breathing, Junpei might have thought she was dead. What are you doing? Did you want to come back here and say goodbye to John? It wasn't the best joke, but it was something. An attempt at lighten the mood. Clover didn't laugh. She stood, stock still, and said nothing. Hey, Clover, can you hear me? Perhaps it was something he'd said, or perhaps it was something else. Suddenly her mouth opened and she whispered in a dry, dead voice. My brother might be dead. Huh? That's why we couldn't find him. If he's dead, I'm going to be next. Suddenly the operating room felt very, very cold. Holy shit. She put that together? What are you talking about? What's wrong with you? He gave her a small shake, but she still didn't respond. The silence grew heavier. Let's just get out of here. We've got the key, let's use it. That's cool with you? Clover nodded almost imperceptibly. Still, Junpei was glad to see that she was at least somewhat responsive. He put his hands on her shoulder and guided her up to the operation room. As they arrived at the door, she suddenly stopped. I'm sorry. What was this? Why was she apologizing? Junpei wasn't sure what to make of her. Was she emotionally unstable because her brother had gone missing? I'm really sorry. Just forget everything I told you, okay? Just don't worry about it. Really, I mean it. How could anyone pretend not to hear something like that? But something told him this wasn't the time to press the issue. Junpei gave her the warmest kind of smile he could manage. Alright. Thank you. Her smile was weak. It was almost painful to watch. Damn. What the hell took you guys so long? Seven looked up as they walked in the room, clearly irritated. You playing doctor in there or something? Dude, gross? Maybe. Jealous? Seven avoided answering the question. Double gross. They stood in front of the door. Junpei took out the Jupiter key. Alright, I'm gonna open it now. Is that cool? You don't need to keep asking. Just do it, alright? Fine then. Slid the key in the keyhole and turned it. He felt it unlock. The door opened with a soft, melancholy creak. Beyond it lay a simple white hallway. Be right back. Sorry about that. Forgot I have people in the house today, so I need to close the door. There was no fanfare or confetti. Obviously, there was no one there to applaud them. They simply walked through the door. That was it. Alright, let's get going. Hey man, what's up with you? You're so serious, you know? Can't you sound more happy? You know, you're a little excited. Not really. Junpei turned away from Seven and took his first step down the simple white hallway. My brother might be dead. I'm going to be next. Clover had told him only a few minutes before that her brother was probably dead and she was likely to follow him. How could he pretend to be happy after hearing something like that? That's important. That's really important that we notice that Clover found this out. They left the operating room. The hallway took them around several corners and past several doors. They were all locked. Till at last, the final door was hidden in a corner of a hall. Junpei grabbed the handle. As he made to push it open, a voice stopped him. The voice came from behind him and belonged to neither Seven nor Clover. Jumpy! He spun around. He saw someone running towards him from the other end of the hallway. There were 3 people coming toward Junpei and his companions. Santa, Lotus, and Chun. They pulled up short in front of Junpei, breathing hard. Whoa! The hell's this? What are you doing here? What? But we didn't... Before he could finish, Clover spoke. Hey guys, could you come take a look at this? She was standing near the end of a small hallway that branched off to the right. The rest of them ran over to her, curious as to what she'd found. There was something on the wall at the end of the hallway. A map of the ship's interior. It said C deck on the upper left corner. It was, they assumed, a map to the floor they were on. Door 7 and door 8. Map confirmed what they already knew. Both doors eventually led to the hallway where they'd found themselves. In fact... Yeah, isn't that what I said? We weren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll always see each other again. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to open door 9. It's how the Nonary game works. Junpei looked at the map of the ship's interior again. As he looked more closely, his surprise and excitement gave way to weariness. One by one, the others saw what he'd seen. They moved as one for the door. And he pulled the map of the ship's interior off the wall, put it in his pocket, and followed the others. The 6 of them stood in front of the door, arrayed in a semicircle. Santa stepped forward, took hold of the door, and spoke without looking back at the other 5. Ready? Gonna open it. Slowly, all 5 nodded their silent assent. With a deep breath, Santa threw open the door. They all think they're gonna find Ace dead on the other side. Poured through the doorway and into the room. Even without looking around, each one of them knew where they were. They were just where the map had said they would be. The same room they'd been in not so very long ago. Tremendous central hospital room with empty beds from wall to wall. Alright, now we get to skip stuff. Oh, the key? Ain't that what I just said? Talking about the Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room. Right, Junpei? Junpei nodded. Ah, the solar system keys. We found a couple more in the laboratory in the kitchen. Here, the Earth key and the Saturn key card. And with that, she pressed them into Junpei's hand. The metal key had the Earth symbol on it, and the key card that had Saturn symbol on it. I might lose them. It's probably better if you hold on to them. That way, it won't be my fault if they get lost. Junpei felt slightly less than honored. As a group, they now had 3 keys that had not been used. The Jupiter key, which had been found in the operating room. The Earth key, which Lotus had just handed to Junpei. The Saturn key card, which Lotus had just handed to Junpei. Alright, now I get to skip stuff again. Alright, those 3 are going to go through door number 3 without us again. The rest of us are trying the Saturn door. Of course there's a reason. Alright, now we're splitting up into teams. We're doing this thing with... Oh, right! I was told to do something special. June was probably afraid of being locked up alone with a boy. After a little thought, Junpei decided that she had to be nervous about being locked up in such a small space alone with a boy. In a way, it was kind of cute. Very demure, you could say, he thought. Still, even though it wasn't exactly roomy in the elevator, they weren't going to be pressed up against one another. At least they didn't have to be. Still, it was making her nervous. Junpei couldn't help but think of how innocent she was. Come on, let's go. Again, he stepped forward to the elevator. And again, he felt himself restrained. I said wait a minute. Why? Aren't you afraid, Jumpy? Afraid of what? Well, I've never... you know... She's never been in an elevator with a man alone before? Even so, she still seemed awfully alarmed. I might get wet. God damn it. What? Down there. I'd get soaking wet. Well, I mean, of course you would. That's the way it works. I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting soaking wet somewhere else. That's true. You don't mind? Mind what? Getting wet? Well, I don't know. I think I'd probably, like it. Gosh, Jumpy, you're so brave. Really? I mean, I kind of think any guy would do the same thing, What happens, happens, right? If you get the chance, you just gotta go for it. That's what a man's supposed to do. I guess. You're so cool, Jumpy. I really admire you. That doesn't really seem the sort of thing you should admire someone for. I'm really scared. Yeah, I mean, like you said, you've never done it before. Yes, so I don't think I'll be able to last very long and then it'll be over. This is too much. This is too much. Oh my god. Over? Yes, I'll go to heaven. Heaven? Feels like when you're floating in space and your mind gets all fuzzy like when you pass out. At least that's what I've heard from people who have experienced it. This is getting worse. Yes, I've heard that too. Although I don't think the same thing happens to guys. What? Huh? But it would happen to men too, wouldn't it? It would happen to anyone. Once you get to your body, the same thing happens to everyone. Okay. Well, I mean, usually it doesn't go inside the man. How heteronormative and boring of you, Junpei. I mean, generally. Yes, it does. Well, eventually it will. It's not like you really have a choice. God damn it, game. I'm sitting here giggling at this while I'm trying to think of theories about, like, the telepathic mechanism hypothesis and all this other nonsense, and it's like, and they're just like, let's throw some sex jokes in there, why not? Love it. Your body will force you to swallow some of it eventually. What are you trying to do to me? Nothing, I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm just saying that that's what happens. It's a psychological reaction to what you're experiencing. Was that really how it happened? It occurred to Junpei that perhaps that was how it worked. Perhaps he'd been mistaken all these years. Had he misunderstood life so gravely? The thought terrified him. Jun seemed to be entirely oblivious to Junpei's mounting confusion and terror. I know most men probably have larger lungs, but even then I don't think you could hold your breath for 20 or even 10 minutes. Eventually you'd have to breathe and then the water would get in your lungs. Once that happens, your body won't be able to get in oxygen anymore, and you'll start to feel the floaty feeling as you pass out. Junpei's taking a long time to process this. Finally, Junpei understood. He understood what Jun was trying to say and why she was so scared. Yeah, you're right. You wouldn't last very long. See? She was afraid that the only elevator button pointed down. That meant, of course, that the elevator couldn't go any higher than the floor they were on. As he thought about it, Junpei realized he hadn't seen elevators on the A or B decks inside the central stair. Okay, the rest can be skipped. Oh god. Oh, that was great. That was freaking great. Well, we'd probably get really wet up there. Huh? At any rate, we should probably go back as soon as we can. It added dialogue. It added unskippable dialogue. Oh god, okay. So this time the goal is to go to 1. And this is when they revealed they found the non-snake's body. Speaking of, I wanted to point out that we know that there's at least 11 people on this ship. That means there could be way more than that. So, and we don't know why these extra 2 people are here. Exactly. I'm hoping going to door 1 is going to help me figure that out. This is when they give their theory of how Snake died, which is essentially true, except it wasn't Snake. I'm gonna say of course. And this is where she says that it could be one of us, which I also believe is true, or is definite possibility at least. Oh, also, I mentioned that I'm not entirely sure who the person who killed everybody, who stabbed them in the back, it was. I don't know how thorough the characters searched the dead bodies to make sure they were dead, but I've revised my theory to think that it was Ace, because he's already faked his death once before. And as such, I think he's the one who did it. I think he's the one who stabbed everyone. And they're having their fight. I want to go through door 1. My choice is door 1. Hey, Sir Matt. Santa was unconvinced. Hey, wait a minute there. You cheating? Cheating? I'm asking if you changed your number after you heard what doors we wanted. How could I do that? I wrote it down on the paper earlier. Let me see that. Junpei shrugged and handed it to him. Santa examined it furiously. The others peered at it as well. As they did, Junpei quickly slipped the piece of paper he'd been hiding into his pocket. Although he'd never know it, Santa had been justified in his suspicions. Junpei had switched papers. This didn't come up in the last playthrough. In the first playthrough, I mean. I knew Junpei had a plan, and he specifically said he's doing this for a reason, but I didn't know he had like all 3 numbers written down and only gave the one he decided at the end. I have the safe and submarine ending, Sir Matt. Yes. So he had prepared 3 pieces of paper for doors 1, 2, and 6, and put the paper with door 6 on it into the pot. He put a small mark on it so that he would know which one was his. He put the paper that said door 1 in his left hand and the paper that read door 2 in his right hand. When the drawing began, he saw to it that he drew last. The rest was easy. If he wanted to go to door 1, he'd use his left hand. If he wanted to go to right hand, if he wanted to go to door 2. Of course, if he wanted to go to door 6, that would be simple. All he had to do was switch nothing and say 6 was what he wanted all along. Well, what does it say? He fought the urge to smirk. Huh, you got lucky. Santa snorted and tossed the paper aside, frustrated. Very well, we've decided who will go through door 1. It'll be Clover, Junpei, and myself. Fuck! That's bad! Shit, I have to protect Clover from him. The only problem is the 2 remaining teams. June and I want door 6. Lotus and I want door 2. That's not good. We can't open either of those doors with only 2 people. Fine. 7 will go through door 6. Sure thing. I didn't really want to go through door 2 anyway. Besides, if you got a younger girl with us, it'll lower the average age. Right, June? Well, June was at a loss for words. Lotus was not. That pig. You just wait and see. Her eyes were the eyes of a woman prepared to kill. A shiver ran down Junpei's spine. Even after they separated the staircase, Lotus was still muttering angrily to herself. Circumstances dictated that Junpei and June would have to part ways again, but this time it didn't sting quite so much. After all, he knew he would see her again. Till we find that 9 door, Zero ain't gonna split us up. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we can't open door 9. It's how Nonary game works. Junpei, Ace, and Clover headed toward A deck. They took out the earth key and opened the door to the left. It opened and they walked through. It was just as Santa and Lotus had said. At the end of the hallway stood a door with a large red 1 on it. A numbered door. To the left, bolted to the wall, was the red. Ace went first and waved his wrist over the scanner panel. Junpei was next. Finally, listlessly, Clover lifted her arm. She leaned towards the scanner panel. The 3rd asterisk clicked to life, shining brightly. Ace took hold of the lever. He took a deep breath and turned to Junpei and Clover. Are you ready? Shall I pull it? Yeah, anytime. Clover said nothing. She nodded, little more than a lethargic twitch of her head. Very well then, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Oh! That didn't occur to me, Sir Matt. I should have done that math myself and figured that out. Yeah, that makes sense. The door opened. They stumbled into the room. Frantically, Junpei scanned the room. His eyes stopped at a device that would determine whether they lived or died. There it is! Over there! Next to the door they'd come through was the dead. As one, they ran to it. They put their hands over it as if they were fighting for it. It stopped. Yes, it did. Junpei could feel his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs. Ace and Clover were breathing hard and fast. It was the third time they'd been through this process, but they had not yet grown accustomed to it. Not that Junpei wanted to. Planned to finish the game before he got a chance to let imminent death become commonplace. Junpei looked around again, this time more slowly. There was another door, different from the one they entered through. He took hold of the knob and easily and gently pulled it open. So, this is the wheelhouse? Closed the door again and turned to Ace and Clover. He fixed each in turn with a meaningful stare, then spoke. Ace, you investigate the wheelhouse next door. Very well. Clover, you're in charge of this room. Say something! Okay, I will. Alright then, let's get started. Seek a way out. Alrighty, let's switch your screen setup. And start looking. A light. It looks kind of like a wilted flower. Ooh, a map. Stack of nautical charts. I think this is a nautical chart? There's a line on it here. I think the line is the route the ship is supposed to take. Why are these dots all over the map? Oh, those are probably ports, like for a boat to stop at. Looks like the lines connect the dots. There's nothing left in the drawer. A chair. A chair. Clover isn't talking much. Well, I guess it's understandable. I mean, she's been through a lot. Really, it's more surprising that she's still together enough to talk at all. You're still doing the jingle? Yeah, well, it's a thing now. A world map with the Atlantic Ocean in the center. There are a number of red pins in the several locations. What do these red pins mean? Well, the nautical charts I picked up earlier do have a map like this one. Maybe one of them matches up with the pins or something? Let's see. Well, what do you know? Looks like this one matches the pins. Okay, so we've got 7 locations connected by straight lines. Each one has a word next to it. That's probably the speed. New material has been added to the file screen. Oops. Alright, I've got a nautical chart that matches up these pins, so I don't think I need to spend any more time with this map. Nautical table. Yeah, stop, dead, half full, slow, half... Actually, it goes full, half slow, full, half dead, stop. I'm gonna write that down. I'm running out of places to put notes, especially since I've started taking notes on a future LP. Very far future LP, actually. A full, half, slow, full, half, dead, and stop. VLR adds a note screen. I probably wouldn't use it. I'm much better with my own notes and stuff. I organize them in a pretty odd way that doesn't make sense to use on like a screen. It's weird. I really like the feel of having a written notes out. But if I did ever get to play VLR, I might use the screen notes anyway, just so people could see what notes I'm keeping. But keep in mind, for this game alone, I probably have 3 pages of notes. The shelves are lined with books. Let's see what's in the blue one. There's something written on it. Ship's log. Huh, ship's log, huh? The material has been added to the file screen. The ship's log. A ship's log in the chart room. The following is written in the last page. We leave soon for a new journey across the sea. After leaving port, we headed south and west. We turned southwest to steer around the continent, then proceeded northwest. We made port, then changed our heading for east for a time, and are now heading north. Soon we will dock with the United Kingdom, the homeland of vessel. So that's just to tell you the path that it took in the previous table. In this. But we already knew that. Let me double check if it matches. After leaving port, we headed south and west. South and west. Turned southwest, then proceeded northwest, then east, then north. That's exactly as it matches here. It is a multiple, yeah. It's a wooden box. Actually, I think I'm on my 4th page now. So, actually, no, this might be at the start of the 3rd page. Let me check it back out. That is one... There's one page. There's one page. Yeah, I'm definitely starting my 4th page. Hey, Clover, you ever write letters? Nothing. Ooh, pocket watch. That's a pocket watch. She starts isn't saying much, and she just keeps looking at the floor. She seems kind of sad. Kinda really sad. A voice he hadn't expected started Junpei from his examination of the pocket watch. Oh, a pocket watch. Why don't I take a look at it? He spun around to find Ace standing in the doorway. Junpei shrugged and handed him the pocket watch. Hey man, what are you doing all in this room? Oh, I just thought I'd come check up on the two of you. Is there a problem? Well, not a problem, but... Junpei looked desperately around the room. Anywhere but at Ace, trying to find a convincing reason to dismiss him. Ace opened his mouth and took another look at Junpei and shut it again. A small smirk appeared on his face. Oh, I see, of course. He looked Junpei over, then glanced at Cloak. Ace, no! 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 I apologize for the intrusion. Well, best of luck. Ace gave Junpei a knowing pat on the shoulder and laughed. For no reason he could fathom, Junpei's head began to hurt. A sharp, piercing pain. A sharp pain in his head. How much time passed? He wasn't sure, but he did notice when Ace strode through the door. Damn it! Damn it, damn it, damn it! His smile was more of a smirk, and he had the air of a man who knew more than his opponent. Ah, yes, there was something I wanted to check, if you don't mind. Yeah, what's that? Pardon me. With no warning, Ace slipped his hand into the pocket of Junpei's vest. Hey! What the hell are you doing? Checking for the papers. He reached for Ace's arm. But it was already too late. In the older man's hand were the pieces of paper Junpei had balled up and hidden in his pocket. Just as I thought. You switched them, didn't you? When we voted. Oh well, I can't say that I care. I managed to get through the numbered door I wanted despite your mischief. Why did you... Oh, simple curiosity. I hope you won't think ill of me for it. No, we'll think ill of you for a lot of other reasons. Ace smiled, gave Junpei a friendly pat on the shoulder, and then turned on his heel and left. It was a small defeat, but it was a defeat. Junpei had lost the upper hand and he knew it. He'd feel his stomach begin to tense. I don't like it. I don't like it. What was the headache about? I was very concerned about that headache. We've seen him use chemical warfare before, just on himself, so... this isn't good. So many drawers, but nothing inside them. A compass. It appears to be broken, however. You see, the glass cover has been smashed to pieces. The helm. Well, steering wheel might be a bit more appropriate term. The hell? Looks like some sort of lock. It's got a weird shaped indentation on it, like a pocket watch? Huh? The shape? Maybe. It does look like the pocket watch would fit here. Nothing. I imagine the pocket watch is intended to go there. However, we may need to do something with the watch first. damn it. I didn't want to go back here. Yeah, my nose. Ugh. Sorry, had mute for a second. Was about to sneeze. An engine order telegraph. I use these on old ships to adjust the speed of the ship. Like the gear shift in a car? Well, it's a little different. This device doesn't connect directly to the engine. In short, it's a transmitter. The navigation officer uses it to the speed of the ship, and it sends a signal to the engine. There's a handle on top of it which can be moved back and forth to... Hold on! There's no handle. You're right, there isn't. It looks as though it was deliberately removed. Damn, so we can't do that yet. Compass. And what destiny does it point us to? I really hope you don't think that sounded cool. You look so depressed! A steering wheel. Let's see if it... Whoa! Looks like the steering wheel moves. So it would seem. I noticed something else as well. What's that? Well, when you move this wheel, the compass also moves. What do you mean? The ship. It's moving. Huh. Tricked you, didn't I? The wheel and the compass must be connected to one another somehow. Do you think that's important? Let's try turning it again. The first thing we did was go south. There we go. Then they went west. Then they went southwest. Then they went northwest. Then they went east. And then they went north. What the? The handle came off. Stooping so low, are you, Zero? The handle that came off the steering wheel. A handle. So, I sure hope this handle fits. Yes, it fits! Excellent. This should allow us to operate the engine order telegraph. Let's give it a shot. Alright, so I want full. Stooping so low. I think he thought that it was trying to prevent us from doing anything more with the steering wheel. So he was like, oh, now we don't have a handle. We can't keep turning it, maybe? I don't know, but that seems stupid. Okay, full, half, slow, full, half, dead, stop. Huh? That's weird. I thought I put in the right speed. Did I mess up? No, I don't think so. Look, something's happened on the back wall of the wheelhouse. Yeah, you're right. Let's check it out. Wait, what's this? There's something on the wall that looks kind of like an arrival board. There are a whole bunch of words on the left side of the display. What the hell is this? There are names of ports across the world. I imagine it's showing us the ship's route. You know, just like the ones you might see in an airport. Departing XX carrier, XX flight, and XXXXXX. Like that. Oh, I get it. It does look like those names are all ports along the ship's route. It looks like only one of those has a time on it, though. The time in the last line, right? 10 seconds past 3 o'clock. Perhaps that's arrival time. The room is just like the other one. Metal plates bolted over the windows. Heck, not just bolted. Looks like they've been welded on. No way in hell we're getting off those anytime soon. He said something about the back wall of the wheelhouse. And I don't see how I'm supposed to look at the back wall. There's another room on the other side of the window. Maybe now I can use the pocket watch? I know that I'm supposed to put the pocket watch in this hole, but... okay, not yet. Ah, human hammer. Are often used to subdue large men like Seven. What? That was a joke, of course. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Ace, you really kind of suck at making jokes. That was rather cruel. Good! Compass. Looks like it's connected to the helm. Something happened here, maybe? I don't think so. This thing won't budge. Feels like there's something keeping it in place. What would be the point of moving it? The ship is stopped. What would be the use of steering it? Yeah, I know, still. Broken compass. Doesn't look like it'll be very useful. A desk. Anything in the drawers? Nope. Nothing in the drawers. A steering wheel that's missing one of its handles. Don't need to mess with that thing anymore. A joke about subduing Seven. Oh, Ace. An engine order telegraphed. I don't really think I need to be messing with that right now. I've clicked on everything. Ace is so out on killing everyone, I doubt you'd be able to get out without killing him. Possibly. Honestly. That's probably true in the best endings. I mean, solving the mystery of who murdered who and stuff like that is going to be important. It looks like this is the only exit. Not what I meant to do. Junpei, are you trying to open the door? Forget it, it's pointless. I tried it earlier. It won't open. The dead is bolted to the wall there. No. What am I looking for? I don't know what it triggered. If you look at the... If you look at this, he said it back wall. Here? That's when I can go into here, though. Is that what I'm supposed to look at? But I thought I already did. Alright, let's go back then. A digital scoreboard, or something like that. On the left side, it's got the names of the ports the ship will stop at along its route. Oh, right! It says 10 seconds past 3 o'clock. Right! I'm dumb. Estimated time arrival at the final port. Oh, perhaps. Whoa, what's he doing? Excuse me, Junpei. Hey, he just took my pocket watch! Hey, what the hell are you doing? Just trust me. It should be fine now. Well, thanks for giving me the pocket watch back, but you don't need to look so smug about it. Let's see what he... Oh, he moved the hands. 10 seconds past 3 o'clock. Oh, so he changed it to match the final arrival time. Ace nodded slowly. You know what to do next, right? Give it a shot. Looks like there's some sort of lock. It's got a weird shaped indentation on it. Actually, it's shaped just like this pocket watch I've got. Let's try putting this in there. Yes! It says open now! Good work. It seems you are successful. Well done, Junpei. Hey! Oh, hey, Clover! What? Look, we unlocked the door. Now we can get out of this Oh, well, let's go then. Clover? Ta-da! We found it. Let me guess, dead body. The space they found themselves in outside of the wheelhouse was far from too narrow to be called a hallway. On their left was a wooden door. Junpei pushed it open and stepped in the room beyond. Captain's quarters? Captain's quarters. It was full of all manner of turn-of-the-century electronic equipment. Okay, not captain's quarters, communications room. Most of them were things they'd never seen before. They had no idea what they might have been, let alone how to operate them. That is for Morse code. One smaller machine had a metal bar on the end of a circular handle. Ace seemed to recognize it. Oh yes, a telegraph key. These were used to transport Morse code a long time ago. He turned and slowly took in the room. This must be the communications office. Across the room from the door they'd entered through was another door. A metal plaque was nailed to it. It read, Captain's Quarters. I was close! The Captain's Quarters. That's what it says. Then do you think? I am Zero, the captain of the ship. He swallowed. Junpei could feel his hands begin to sweat. Only Clover seemed unaffected. Well, we won't know if we don't open it. She walked up to the door and put her hands on the knob. It opened easily, and without so much as a pause, she walked in. Junpei and Ace followed. First thing they saw was a man on the floor covered in blood. Junpei felt his body seize up, his mouth went dry, and he felt very, very cold. The blood in his veins slowed to a crawl, and his heart tightened like a fist. This was the third time he'd seen the horror of death laid out before him. He didn't think it was something he could stand to see much more of. Still, he'd begun to suspect that whatever he saw, whatever happened to him was beyond his control. Whatever force controlled him was driven by the determination that he could not hope to match. A sense of helplessness, of desperation washed over him. He left behind a feeling of utter emptiness that wormed its way through his body like acid. And he realized he had yet to check the man's pulse. Perhaps he was still alive. Fueled by that spark of hope, Junpei ran to the man's body, and his heart fell. The fingers on the man's neck felt no pulse. His pupils had dilated, and he wasn't breathing. His pupils had dilated? They're fucking gone! There are no pupils! Junpei lifted the man's already stiff body. There was a deep red wound on his chest. Junpei did not have to wonder long what could have made such a wound. For lying next to the corpse was an axe. The entire blade of it was drenched in bright red blood. In the shape of the man's wound, there could be no doubt that it was made by the axe. Junpei looked at the body again. A lake of blood stretched out around it. It was wearing the clothes of the ship's captain, though they were stained with blood. A captain. Did that mean this man was Zero? On his left hand was a bracelet. Remember, the bracelet was Zero. But we know that's not true. I believe that the actual number is 6. I'm gonna write that down because I almost forgot that earlier. It was only then Junpei noticed the stench of blood that filled the room. He couldn't help but laugh. There was nothing else for him to say. It was too simple, too obvious, too straightforward. If there hadn't been a dead man on the floor, Junpei might have thought it was a joke. Seek our way out. Alright. Uh-oh. The first thing we see is a camera? A camcorder. It looks like it's pointing at the door. Well, the power's on. Why would someone want to videotape a door? It's a little rectangular hole. I think it's a keyhole of some sort. With the right key, I should be able to unlock it. Was he in this chair when he was killed? There's blood on the chair. Do you think this was the dead guy's? That doesn't seem right, though. If he was sitting in the chair and then got chopped in the chest, then the blood wouldn't be here unless he got impaled, but he didn't. And that wouldn't be the right location for an impaling of your chest anyway. So, what happened here? Yeah, probably. It's probably his blood. But that means his position, he had to be standing over the chair. That's odd. Music box. Oh, it's one of those old music boxes. How about we wind it up? Why does it sound like that? Is it broken? The pins on the cylinder are all shaped weird. I don't think those are pins. It looks like someone put something else on top of it. I think we're gonna have to take it apart to figure out what's going on, don't you? Alright, let's figure out a way to take it apart then. It's a lamp. It doesn't turn on. I don't think there's anything special about it. Small table. A bed. There's nothing in it. Uh-oh. Oh, what's the deal with this? Is this some kind of code? There are 4 rows of numbers and letters. They all start with a 0 and end with an 8. F, N, or V, respectively. Maybe this has something to do with number bases. New material has been added to the file screen. The numerical system chart. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Then the next one goes 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So 32 is the last one, 24 is second to last, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 8 is the top one. Okay, so 8, 15, 24, and 32. The screen shows a big hospital room. I knew it! These are all security cameras! The screen showing what happened in the central staircase's B deck. What's going on in a small room somewhere I don't recognize. This room on the screen looks really fancy. This one's just some random hallway on this one. That shows the big hospital room. This one shows the central staircase on C. I don't recognize this room on this one. There's a bunch of weird buttons on here. They probably switch what you see on the screens. Do you know how to work this thing? Why don't we just press one of these? Like this one. Ha! Hi! Well, I guess it does change the... What the hell is this? There's nothing on the monitor, just static. Hey, isn't that the door on the screen, the one right behind us? You're right. So whatever the camera sees is sent to the screen in real time. I wonder if that means something, you know? Huh. Junpei snorted with grim humor for the second time he'd come into the room. Hey, Yoshikev! The 4 screens along the bottom had a single letter on each, spelling out 0. Junpei felt as though he was being mocked. The real villain was somewhere laughing at him. What do you think? He turned to Clover, who was standing next to him. His voice was almost too low. Her voice was almost too low to hear. Nothing. Seemed she cared about little. Of course, Junpei could hardly blame her. Given the strain she was surely under, Junpei was somewhat surprised she had responded at all. Still, he had to ask. He gestured toward the corpse. What about him? Do you think that's really 0? Clover shook her head weakly. There's no way that's him. Didn't I tell you already? 0's one of us. Yeah, right. I know it's important to figure out who this guy is, but don't you think we should figure out how to get out of here first? But, please, I don't want to waste any more time. Clover looked miserable, as if she could start crying at any moment. Junpei just didn't have the heart to tell her no. Alright, sure thing. Was his mind playing tricks on him, Junpei wondered? For a moment he could have sworn he'd seen Clover smile. Alright, back to searching. I think this probably used to be a door. Nobody's going through it as long as there's metal plates here, though. Well, even without the metal plate, the dust is in a way. Alright, back into here. What's this? Small screwdrivers. A set of small screwdrivers. Perhaps we can use them to dismantle small devices. Alright, this screwdriver ought to make short work of this music box. Cylinder. It looks like a cylinder for a music box. There are a number of pins and some metal that looks like rather like fans attached to it. Oh, hey! Ink. A bottle of ink. So we're at 11 persons now. Yep! We're at 11 people on this damn boat. Oh, it's actually time for my first break of the day. So get up, stretch, ready, and do, be able to keep watching comfortably. And I will be right back.